Our next question comes from Mike. Mike says, "Hey guys, my name is Mike. I'm 58 years old and I have no plans to retire. That, however, is my choice. Every year, I bring in about $101,000. I owe about $158,000 on my home at a 3.1% interest rate. My mortgage payment is $1,000, but I pay $1,500 so I can pay it off sooner. I have 2 credit cards, but I plan to pay them both off before interest begins to accrue because I got a 0% interest rate. After my bills are paid every month, I've got about $2,000 to $2,500 left over. So here are my 2 quick questions. The first one is, should I continue to pay extra on the house so I can pay it off faster and then begin to invest the difference? And 2, since I don't plan on retiring, where's the best place for me to put my money in case the unfortunate should happen? My work has a 401k, but it's grown really slowly. My annuity account is growing at about $21,000 per year." Robert, you want to start digging into this one?
Yeah, I love this question. And, I want to start first with the house payment. Right now, you have a 3% interest rate. And the big rule that Austin and I always speak about, and we preach it to the mountaintops every single week, is that if you can borrow money for less than what you can make with your money, you always borrow. And that is why the wealthiest people on earth have mortgages and car payments and yacht payments and everything else, because they can borrow the money so inexpensively. And you did this for your house. So I would say absolutely do not pay anything extra every month because you have that 3% interest locked in. I personally would take all the extra money every month. I would get it invested into a bridge account because then you have full autonomy on that account. I would get a basket of those index funds we talk about and really kind of spread it out so you have a very well-balanced portfolio. That's first and foremost what I would do with that money. Secondarily, for question number 2, since you don't plan on retiring, the same thing happens. Match the 401k. Everything else goes into the Roth and to the traditional brokerage account, and set yourself up for later on in life, since you're not retiring, and put yourself in a way where you've got some tax deferred, you've got some after-tax income later, and you're just really well balanced. But just don't pay more on the house, because at the end of the day, you're borrowing that money so inexpensively, and you want to arbitrage all the positive difference. Like if you look at the S&P 500, on average, year over year, decade over decade, it makes about 10% a year. So if you're paying 3% on your house and you can make 10% with your money, that's why all the extra money should go into something like the S&P 500, because then all of those extra earnings are yours and not someone else's.
I love the ending there. The extra money is yours and not someone else's. That's 100% the way to think about it. So I did some math for you here, Mike. At 58 years old, assuming that you take this $2,000 left over every single month and you deposit it into a public.com online brokerage account, and it is invested in the S&P 500, and over the next, let's call it 7 years or so, it continues to go up by that, call it 10% average that it's done over the last several decades, you'll have about $250,000 extra sitting in this brokerage account for you. I totally agree. You said you have a 401k and you should be able to contribute up to the match to get the free money. We have this phrase, it's match beats Roth beats taxable. Go get that free money, max out the Roth IRA, and then put it into your taxable brokerage account, whatever brokerage account that you use. That's the order you should be thinking about this in, because it optimizes for free money, it optimizes for taxes and growth and everything in between. I think Robert did a wonderful job laying all that out, and I totally agree. Don't make extra payments here on the mortgage. You'll have this paid off very soon regardless. And I think the big thing to consider is you said you never want to retire, and I hear you. I never want to retire, and I don't think Robert ever wants to retire either. With that being said, though, the unfortunate could happen, right? Maybe you are disabled when you're in your 70s. Maybe something happens to your health when you are in your 60s. We can't predict the future, but having hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars now in these retirement accounts for you that you can rely on if something does happen to your income, God forbid, is just a really good place to be.